Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to check out some of our previous videos so that way you know what we're doing today. Because today is more of a supplementary lesson from the previous lesson that we did with the whole syllables. So this may not be too long, but it's just to emphasize the importance of the whole syllable and periods that we are using in our pronunciation guides. So let's get started with today's lesson, Phonetic Precision, Lesson 4, Mastering Word Pronunciation with Pronunciation Guides. So again, the whole point of this particular lesson is to just emphasize the importance of putting the period and how we are separating the word into two syllables. So for instance, here are some words that we're going to practice in Farsi. This word right here means hat. So whenever you look at this, if we split it into the two syllables, we know that this is ko and la. So if we put this together, kola, which means hat. But if I was to just show you this one right here, without the period in between, if you try to pronounce it, you won't know where exactly to put the emphasis on. So this one could be kol-a, which is not quite the correct way. Or if you were to pronounce it a little too quickly, kala. I'm still using the correct pronunciations with the ko and the la, but it just doesn't sound right when you just say kola. People may sound confused. But whenever we put the period here to separate the syllables, you know that there's a slight emphasis on the L. So whenever saying this, we say kola, not kala. It's kola. All right? So let's try the same thing with the next one. So here, if I was to read this, I may not be sure. I may think this is shane or shane, or it could be anything like that. But whenever you see the period here, you know that there's a slight emphasis on the N sound. So this one will be shane. You don't need to pause really too much. We don't say it's shane. It's not like that. If you want to pronounce it quickly, just a slight emphasis on the N sound. Shane, which means comb. And again, we've written the Farsi here for you, so that way you can look at how it's written in Farsi in case if you're eager to try to learn Farsi as well with these lessons. So let's look at the next one. This one's the same thing. Look at how we've separated it. So we know that the de comes first and then the racht. This is one of those tricky ones. You have to remember how to make that sound. De racht. So when I put it together, it's deracht, which means tree. So deracht. And how about this one? So again, if I wasn't to show you how we broke it down into the syllables, you might think of this as havij, but that's not right. It doesn't sound quite right. You are pronouncing it correctly with the whole ha and the vij, but the emphasis is not quite right. And this is why our pronunciation guides are made such that they will help you to pronounce things as close as possible so you sound like a fluent Persian speaker. So here we have havij, which means carrot. So let's try to do these ones relatively quickly, just again so you get used to it. So this one's kola, shane, deracht, and havij. All right? So here are some more words that we're going to practice. So again, remember that whenever we put the period, it puts an emphasis on the B sound. So for example, if I was to read this without the period and knowing where the syllable is, I may think of this as labus. And your pronunciation isn't wrong in the sense of you're saying le and you're saying bus, but it's not quite right. The emphasis is on the b just slightly. So le boss, le bus, le boss, le boss, le boss, which means clothes. And then how about this one here? If you're used to English, you might think of this as mer, but that's not right. Remember, the U makes an up sound, like the word up. So this one is gonna be mar, 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 which means snake. And then how about this one? This one is, again, when we break it up, there's a slight emphasis on the R sound. So this is horus, horus. So when you put it together, horus, horus, which means rooster. And here are some more one-syllable words. So whenever it's one syllable, there's no emphasis on anything after the first letter. So this is just mush. It's not a mush. It's mush, 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 which means mouse. And how about this one? It's got that tricky K sound, nach, 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 which means thread. And then we're back to a two-syllable words. So remember, don't say it's not jaru, jaru, because even though you're pronouncing jaw and the ru right, the emphasis goes, as you can see where our period is, just slightly on the R. Jaru, jaru, jaru. Notice how I'm putting just a slight emphasis on the ru sound. Jaru, jaru, which means broom. So let's practice these words real quickly. If you want, try to pause the video and try it yourself. But anyways, here we're gonna do it together. Labos, mar, horus, mush, nach, and jaru. So make sure you keep on practicing that, okay? But yeah, that's pretty much it for this supplementary lesson. It's really important to pay attention where we are putting the period because it will help you to understand where to put the emphasis in the word and like how many syllables are in that word. So that way you get the right pronunciations. Because whenever you're speaking Farsi, you want to be able to make it sound right so anyone who's listening to it will be able to understand you. But you don't want to sound too much like a foreigner who's trying to pronounce the words, okay? We're trying to get you to be able to pronounce things as close as possible to the actual language. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this short little video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any suggestions for future videos. But yeah, this is our next lesson, a preview for our next lesson, which is called Mastering Pronunciation, Lesson 5, Achieving Clarity and Precision in Sentence Reading with Techniques from Previous Lessons. So make sure to keep on practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.